Today we got 11 minutes of a preview of The Last of Us Part 1.
I'm coming.
More than 2 years ago, when we were finishing Last of Us Part 2, and we were working on those flashbacks within that scene for the first game, we got excited with the idea of like, oh man, what if we made The Last of Us Part 1 to look as good, if not better, than what we have done with Last of Us Part 2, which we really pushed the boundaries of like what we could do from gameplay and a graphical standpoint, and felt like if we do that, we could actually come even closer to our original vision of what the first game would have been had we not been constrained by technology.
No limitations by technology, rebuilt for PS5.
The original creative vision of The Last of Us, I think in a lot of ways was larger than what the PlayStation 3 was capable of.
The tech of the PS5, it's like an open box of tools and goodies that we can play from and draw from. The 4K, HDR, improved haptics, 60 frames, help us to reimagine The Last of Us. It gave
More
us
lush
opportunities to rebuild our characters at the highest fidelity. Not only are the characters more detailed, I mean down to the irises and the pupil depth. You know, you fall into the eyes of the characters.
The characters do look a lot better.
Aside from that, the facial animation is just way more believable. Like all the nuances, all the little subtle reactions, glances, glares, right? Like you get all of it almost closer to sort of the original performances.
So no matter what, you stick to me like glue.
Like glue.
Like glue.
Got it.
Good.
We are able now to not only just have the highest fidelity characters in the cutscene, but also in gameplay. It's the same character, so now we can do these seamless transitions in and out. Every part of the game has benefited from seamless transitions and emotional scripting.
Pretty good, huh?
Our stories happen in gameplay, on a stick.
She knew my mom.
All this stuff is designed to keep you constantly in this world.
Riley, come here. Now you got this, go.
I'm excited for this. I feel like this is one of the most hype
things
and
that the
controversial
PlayStation
games
5
this
is
year.
really enabling is that we're able to have a density of physics objects in a scene that we could never do before. Like, this has always been the dream, is to have this number of bumpables, chippables, breakables, destructible objects in a scene. It just makes the world feel rich, makes it feel lived in. Materials kind of have the properties that you'd expect. The turret truck in Pittsburgh, when it's firing at you and it's just ripping apart the concrete and sending objects flying left and right.
Seeing things break, like there's fear, there's a real fear that it invokes.
And it's giving us a much more dynamic range of gameplay to play with.
Surround him!
That bottle exploding
Our
in your
AI
face.
tech has just increased incredibly. What we were building the basis off of was The Last of Us Part 2's AI. And it has sophisticated systems for things like the fundamental knowledge model of how these NPCs perceive and understand what the player is much more sophisticated.
Smarter AI.
Now how the enemies are
Gonna have to
communicating
be on
with
your
each other,
feet.
how they're chasing you, how they're flanking you, how intense that fight feels. It's so much more rewarding coming out of it from the other side.
Get out!
One of the other big AI improvements is the buddies. The buddies technology that we developed for The Last of Us Part 2 has this very sophisticated understanding of like, okay, this is where the enemies can see their exposure. We not only have exposure, we have future exposure. So buddies can know, okay, that enemy is walking forward and they're about to round this corner. So in 3 seconds, that corner is going to be exposed. So I'd better move now to avoid this enemy seeing me. This really lets the buddies make very complex decisions and maintain that feeling of stealth much more believably.
Dude, there's nothing worse than a dumb AI buddy in a video
Another
game.
big enhancement
This is
to
great
the
news.
gameplay is that we have this technology called motion matching. Motion matching is this technology that's basically using logic that tries to match the desired movement to a bucket of hundreds of animations. A mocapped actor has gone in and run this whole gauntlet of movements to get a really full set of all the different ways a person can move. And then it's basically every frame trying to find the best matching animation that fits the path of where the character is going to go. And this motion model just gives this really seamless sense of transition. The player's movement is just a lot cleaner. It's this really smooth, organic movement through the space.
First, we just had
That's
to
how they
build that
get that
core
scene.
experience. And
Interesting.
then beyond that, we wanted to add several features that fans have been asking for. For
Gonna
example,
have a photo
we now
mode.
have a permadeath mode. Along that, we've added a brand new speedrun mode, so players can time themselves. There's a whole community of gamers that just want to see how fast they can play through this game. Beyond that, we added a bunch more of unlockables. So there's all these different outfits for Ellie and Joel that people can unlock. A model viewer mode, so people can really appreciate the details. We added award-winning accessibility features.
Every single accessibility option that we offer, that's a barrier removed for someone.
As she surveys the apartment,
that.
her eyes wander to Joel. She steps past the couch. He wears the wristwatch Sarah gifted him, which now has a cracked face.
To my knowledge, this is the first PlayStation game that has audio description built into the game, built into the cinematics.
Now it's nighttime. Joel stirs in his sleep.
And that's really the way we've tried to push the frontier of accessibility on this game.
That's good.
We revamped completely the art direction. You know, everything from these expansive vistas that not only are they beautiful, but you feel the environments. You feel the environments in a much more visceral way. The rooftops overlooking the Capitol building, for example, like just the breath of fresh air when you go up there and you just like, you feel that sort of release in tension. And then, you know, to juxtapose that down in the tunnels in Wilds, and you get that dank, flooded tunnel feel, that humidity, you can actually feel it. All
Hate that
these
mission.
environments are just completely reimagined.
Now we got our engine on the PS5, those haptics, the 3D audio, the fast loading. It really creates a much more immersive, and because of that, much more emotional experience.
One of the things I absolutely love with the 3D audio in The Last of Us Part 1 is being able to hear an enemy before they sneak up on you. And trying to do a stalker fight with the 3D audio is just so much fun. You're hearing them skitter around in a different room, and you're hearing them trying to get up behind you.
Oh my god, dude, no.
Having that two-part
No.
reaction of like hearing, turning, seeing, reacting, it's just really heightens that sense of
This,
just being
the
grounded.
generator
You are in
mission
this
in the
character,
basement.
You are in this world.
Just
Now,
terrible.
With the PlayStation 5, the amount of control that developers have over the DualSense, it's really, really cool. All the guns in the game have a variable amount of resistance on the triggers when you aim them. The way it works with the bow is that at the very beginning, when they're starting to draw the bow, there's a little bit of resistance. And then as the bow gets tauter and tauter, the amount of resistance is increasing. And then
That's
when
so
you
sick.
release the bow, you're also getting that resistance going out of the trigger.
The DualSense
When
is seriously
you are
insane.
aiming and firing the shotgun, you're going to get a haptic vibration on the shot. And then what I think is one of the ways that the DualSense really advances things is you're going to get a haptic vibration on the pump of the shotgun. And what's much more sophisticated about that on the DualSense is that in effect has a little like speaker in it. And it's playing an audio file that comes through in the vibrations. And those two beats is what you're going to feel on the controller.
This looks like a good spot.
This also ties in to the new workbench animations. So if you're seeing Joel taking apart a gun or screwing something in or putting a new stock on a gun, that moment where he's like jamming that on, you're going to get that haptic feedback on that. We
That's
have,
cool.
you know, haptics all
Not
across
needed,
the board,
but
you know,
cool.
for all the moments you kind of expect, for clambering, jumping, landing, meleeing, getting meleeed, like all those kind of high intensity moments we have represented in the haptics. What I personally absolutely adore is the way we can enhance the really like quiet, subtle moments of gameplay. So it's like when Joel goes in to pet the giraffe, getting that little light touch on the haptics as he's petting the giraffe.
Giraffe haptics, confirmed.
To me, that's the essence of The Last of Us.
Sick.
It's the high tension moments, it's the low tension moments, it's all of it feeling grounded. It's you're feeling immersed in this world. It's all about bringing you along with that story in as many ways as we can. And that's what the new technology on the PlayStation 5 is allowing.
Was that everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out.
There's something special about that core experience of playing as Joel and Ellie on this journey. Then to take that experience and really honor it and keep the authenticity of it, but elevate it in every way possible, whether it's pipeline, whether it's art direction, whether it's technology, everything that allows us to make that experience better. Not different, extremely better. That's why, to me, this is the definitive way to play The Last of Us.
It's not different, it's better. The Last of Us Part 1. Coming September 2nd, 22. So I'm really excited for this game, man. I love The Last of Us. It is without a doubt one of the best games of all time, and it might be my personal favorite storytelling game of all time. It is an absolute masterpiece and masterclass when it comes to storytelling and emotion. The feels that you feel when you play through this game, even to this day, even on the older version of it, are just incredible. And that's a testament to just how good the game is back then and hopefully how good it'll be in the future. But that's also where, you know, like I said earlier, I think there's going to be a lot of hype around this, but also a lot of controversy. And that's where some people are criticizing, hey, do we need a full price remake of this game? I feel like it's just kind of a situation where you vote with your wallet. If you're excited about it, pick the game up, enjoy it. If you're upset and you feel like it's a money grab and they're just doing it to milk another $70 out of you, don't buy it. It's all good. Go play something else. You know, there's plenty of other games to play. For me personally, I can't wait. Definitely going to be buying it as a massive, massive fan. Can't wait to post videos here on this channel. You know, I do feel like there's a fairly significant number of upgrades here. You know, obviously graphically it's going to look better, and some of those before and afters, I feel like they didn't look that much different, but then in others, it looked a lot better. And I'm sure as we get closer to release and things, we'll be able to see more, although I think technically the game's gold. So it's probably not going to change much from what we're seeing here. But, you know, graphically, it's going to be more dense. There's going to be more going on the screen. It's going to be more lush when you're, like, you know, walking through the forests and things. Also, I mean, we saw, you know, there's just going to be more interaction with the environment. The AI is going to be smarter. I think one of the things I'm most excited for is the facial recognition and the facial movements are going to be more real. I mean, again, feeling and emotion is what this game is best at. So if we could extract more emotion out of the characters and their little minute movements that you don't even really recognize, but it adds to the whole picture, that's going to be a really, really big deal. I would buy it alone for that. And to be honest, you can call me crazy, but I'm actually kind of excited for the DualSense features. So in total honesty, I think the DualSense is mainly a gimmick. I think in a lot of situations, it's totally not needed. In a majority of games, it's not needed, especially on the multiplayer side of things and stuff. It's cool technology and it works well. But in a lot of games, I just go into the menus and turn it off because it's not needed and it becomes annoying after a while. Like, think about like Spider-Man when you have to use the resistance trigger so many times as you're swinging through the city. I just don't like it. But in a game like this, if it's tastefully done, in a game like this that has so many highs and so many lows and so much emotion, I feel like it actually could be pretty cool. And when it's used appropriately, it's just another sense that draws you even more into the game. I'm excited for this. Let me know what you guys think. Gamers always love to complain and have drama. So if you like the game, buy it. If you don't. That's the easiest way to vote is with your wallet. But I personally can't wait for this. Let me know what you guys think. Can't wait to start the series with you all. Catch you all later. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed. Peace out.